Hi everyone, Jay here. As always, I'm here to offer you some recommendations for ways in which you might adapt our CrossFit linchpin workouts for kids. As with most weeks, we're going to take a look at the workout that falls on a Tuesday. We're going to look at Tuesday the 17th of May. We've got a 6, 9, 12, 9, 6, a lateral burpee over the bar, heavy front squats and chest to bar pull-ups. These are great movements to adapt into a CrossFit Kids workout. They're movements or similar movement strands that we'll see quite commonly at different levels of CrossFit Kids. And we'll go through how we might adapt some of those and some of the progressions that we might use to get to some of those movements for our kids. As I have done in recent weeks, I'm going to take you through what this might look like in a class structure. We're going to start off with our general warm-up. We'll move on to our specific warm-ups, so our skill work. I'll take you through what the workout will look like and some of the reasons I've put some of the stuff in there. The game that I'm going to offer you, and then an option of cool down, skill, challenge or study work. Let's start with the general warm-up. So most of our sections are allotted about 10 minutes of time. So we're going to spend about 10 minutes of our general warm-up. Might be a little less, might be a little bit more, including setup and direction. So we're going to set the children up in a kind of a relay, maybe 3 or 4 per group. We're going to make sure the children know where they're starting, where they go, and then where they come back to. One of the big things in early sort of like preschool CrossFit Kids actually is less about the movements and more about developing those skills for learning, listening, taking turns. Are they aware of where they need to be in the stations? Are they in the right grid? Are they moving in the right places? So make sure the children are aware of where they need to go. We're going to relay of skip 10 meters, 5 lateral hops, forward roll, and some crab walking back. What we have here, we have a little bit of vestibular work with the forward roll, and we have some elements of impact loading with the skipping and the lateral hops. And they're just a nice sort of animal walk in there to get some kinesthetic awareness for the children. Moving on to our skill work. Again, we're going to spend about 10 minutes on here, maybe a little longer. We're going to start off with our front squat. So we're going to teach the front squat unloaded, and you'll see a video of my daughter doing that during the workout, where she just has her thumbs on her shoulders and elbows nice and high, imitating that front rack position. And we will use a cue, maybe get your laser beams high, shoot a target that's high up. So we're giving them almost a tactile cue, not necessarily touching them with a tactile cue, but giving them a target to aim for. Then we'll move on to the pull-up progressions. We're going to start off with some Superman to hollow on the floor, so those positions we want to see during our kips. Then we'd move on to some toe-assisted pull-ups, and you'll see my daughter doing this during the workout. So we're just moving through those Superman to hollow positions, assisted by the feet on the floor. And really what we're looking for is that we're not creating too much arch, especially on that Superman element of it, coming through past the bar. We don't want too much arch in that back, overextension. And then if your children are capable, you set some appropriate challenge, some strict pull-ups. And the reason I've got this in here, when approaching this workout with my son, we're having a look at how to make it appropriate for him, because it needs to be appropriate for their emotional maturity and also their capacity and skill work. He's relatively good at pull-up work from doing lots of CrossFit, also his gymnastics background. So he asked to do strict pull-ups during this workout. So you'll see him doing strict pull-ups during the workout. And he did that for its entirety. But make sure the children have the capacity to do that. They're of the right emotional maturity, and it's not going to impact on other elements of the workout too much. So for the workout, I've allotted about 10 minutes. Now, the burpee, the front squat and the chest to bar are really simple to adapt for CrossFit Kids, because each of those come up in the progressions, for example, on the CrossFit Kids course, and there's a linear progression to implementing those movements in. Now, I've got a run in here simply because when discussing this workout with my children, they asked to have a run in. And I thought it was a really important thing to add, is allowing your children to have some ownership of their workout. You know, it's their workout. They want to maybe have some ownership of it. So I let them say, my son wanted to run much further, and I said, you know what, let's run short so we can get back to these movements quite quickly. And also running's great because it's another way of giving the children some of that impact loading. So the workout would be an AMRAP 10. Now my children did this for the full 10 minutes. 3 burpees, 4 front squats. You'll see my daughter doing that unloaded and my son doing that with some light dumbbells. 5 pull-up progressions. So my daughter, you'll see her doing some 5 toe-assisted pull-ups, and you'll see my son doing 5 strict pull-ups, and then run 100 meters, and then keep cycling through that as an AMRAP. Again, make sure it's for quality, so make sure the children's movement stays high, their focus stays high, and they're not getting over fatigued from that. Now, for our game, it's one of my all-time favorite CrossFit Kids games. It's pizza tag. The children will hold an ab mat or anything that could be knocked off of their hand above their head, like a pizza waiter. Everyone's in a group and you're moving around trying to knock each other's pizzas off of their hands. If your pizza gets knocked off of your hand, you pick up your pizza, your ab mat or your cone or whatever you're using, you go to the side or a designated area and you perform 3 to 5 reps perfectly of a given movement. Now remember, we're not assigning a punishment to getting our pizza knocked off. We're saying, oh well, your pizza got knocked off, you get to go and do one of those extra movements. Fantastic. And then to finish off, we're going to have a cool down with some skill, challenge and study. Now, I quite like to have some bar hanging progressions there for that skill work, just because of that pull-up thing. So they're developing those bar hanging, that grip strength from the bar hanging progressions that you've seen come up on my videos quite a few times. So you should be aware of those. Remember, any of this is adaptable, and particularly the workout, you might take the run out, you might put a bear crawl in. That run was in there specifically because my children asked for it and I wanted to give them some ownership of the workout. Have fun with this workout, guys. Thank you. Just to recap on the movements, really, got 3 burpees, and then following the 3 burpees, it's going to be 4 front squats. You can see that my daughter will be doing the front squats unloaded. My son is using some light dumbbells. You can notice that I must have cued my daughter to get those elbows higher, laser beams higher. And then following the 4 front squats, it's going to be 5 toe-assisted pull-ups for my daughter and 5 strict pull-ups for my son. And like I said in the previous video, that I gave some ownership to my children about this workout and they chose to add some running in there. So that's why we had a 100-meter run. Choose to add that in or add another element such as a bear crawl for yourselves or your children.